Hello, all of you. Hello, dear students. So nice and super duper excited to meet you. Other than taxation and costing, here we are with another series edition in Skill Enhancer Series 11. And today's topic, I am also super excited, like you, to learn so many insights about branding and how to use it for our success. So I welcome here our guest for today, speaker, guest, expert in the field of branding, Tabassum, Umama Tabassum Menon. Welcome, Umama.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deepti. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I was willing to learn this along with my students, and this is like so refreshing for all of you. Welcome, Umama, to CA Dipti Chheda's channel. Let me
Thank you
tell
so
you, this is
much.
the 11th episode of Skill Enhancer series. Like, what is your experience with these CA students? I don't know, but CA, CMA, these are the students who study for 10 hours, 12 hours, and it's very difficult to crack the exam. Forget about the percentage. But
True.
in all this, along with your academics, it is very much necessary to polish and upgrade all our other skills so that when we are going in industry for job in practice, there's a beautiful bridge and it makes a complete personality. So when we were interacting yesterday and you talked about branding, this is such an important topic for students, for professionals, and really this is too much required nowadays because the way we were working 4 5 years back and now, if you can just feel there's a lot of change. So over to
Absolutely.
you. One thing I want to ask all the students, so many of you are live here. Hello, all of you. If you have any comments, keep commenting as and how we are moving in the talk. We'll surely take up the live questions also. So, dear students, Umama is here to tell us all about branding. If we just click what is branding, I feel it's reputation. But I'm wrong. I'm only answering and I'm saying it's wrong because there's so much more to learn from an expert, and this is not my topic. So, Mama, over to you, and let us start this session with what is branding and how is it going to be helpful for the professional students.
Thank you so much, Deepti. And hello, everyone who all are watching. Hello, students. And of course, personal branding is a topic which is close to my heart, as you would have known by now. Deepti has talked so much about it. But how, in terms of students and in terms of how professionals can be, they can be helped by branding themselves. Now, when we hear the term brand, we of course think about luxury clothing, a few brands that we know. But when it comes to personal branding, it is about you. So this time, it is not a product, the product is you. And that's the whole difference, right?
Yeah.
You are your own brand and you have to project that out in the world. And as Deepti has asked already, what exactly is personal branding? So, when it comes to personal branding, there are four different pillars to it. It starts from you, right? Which is basically who you are. Deep down, you have to dig really deeper and identify what are your qualities, what are your strengths, what do you feel can be projected out there to the world, what is your value system, what could be your mission, your vision, so many things, right? So that is the first pillar, which is the real you, which talks mostly about you as a person and what do you want to do for this world per se. Then we move to the next element, which talks mostly about the visual you. Okay, visual you as in how you appear. Okay, the moment somebody looks at you, what kind of image they are perceiving of you, whether they are feeling that you are professional, whether they feel, oh, you are a little bit casual. Oh, yes, you are very creative in terms of the way you are dressing. So, basis on that, the visual appearance, what kind of clothing you have, and not just clothing, overall, how you're projecting yourself, that is the second pillar to branding. Then comes the third pillar, which is the social you. which means how you are interacting with people around you, how you are networking with people around you. So let's say I have to talk to Deepti. What kind of approach I have to follow? I have to talk to all of you. What kind of demeanor I'll have, what kind of behavior I'll showcase. That is the social you, which is basically your behavior with people. And of course, the last element, which is the virtual you. Now, we all know that it is not just an offline world, there is a world which exists online, isn't it? So, for that, virtually, what kind of personal brand you are projecting out there? What are you doing when you are on online calls? Are you uh, taking that effort to just be little bit professional before you are there on camera, or you are just like that, oh, casually out of your bed and just hopping into the call? The choice is completely yours, of course, but then that gives you an edge because you take your job seriously, you take yourself seriously for that matter. So these are the four different segments of personal branding, Deepti. I hope that clarifies a lot.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. You've opened up so many aspects that we can make a branding in social appearance, in online portal, and different areas where we can brand. And I really like the line what you said, that the way you take seriously yourself, that's the way
yeah,
others will also be taking you.
of course, 100%.
Mama, really sorry. One thing I missed out, dear students. Whenever we start the skill enhancer series, I know, Mama, but all my students should also know. And I had to start with introduction, but I missed out and straight went into that questionnaire. So just a break here. There are so many beautiful titles added in Umama Tabassum Menon's. This thing, she's a TEDx speaker, corporate trainer, author of the book Amplify Your Career, an image consultant. She has done so many corporate trainings in companies, Brookfield, Synergy School, Fuller, Kotak, Cipla, so many educational institute. And one word, if you want me to associate with Umama, is whatever you will learn in the coming 30, 40 minutes, it's just not the definition what Google will give you. It's something which will imbibe inside. I have seen one word with Umama's training, and that is sustainability. It has to be imbibed inside whatever you get trained from her. So this is all in brief. I've said there is so much more. I'll be pinning, dear students, below this video the link tree of Umama. You can connect with her for discovery call, her books, and other all the details. Umama, sorry, I've summed up it like this.
No worries, dear. Thank you so much.
Okay. So let us start with one by one segment, because
Mhm.
most of the students, when they complete qualification, they go for
Hmm.
job interviews or in internship only. Like now, professional students are looking for internship in Big Four and all.
Hmm.
So, in your job, how you can use the branding and enhance your work over there? Can you talk
Right.
about?
Certainly, Deepti. See, you have to think of this like, I take an example, okay? If you have 100 similar things kept in front of you, okay? Which one would you pick? Take any example, maybe gifts. Imagine that it's your birthday and you have been gifted so many gifts there, and I give this example multiple times. Which one would you pick amongst all? I mean, take a guess. Which one would you pick?
One which is attractive and which pulls me towards that I will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one which is wrapped in a attractive paper, possibly ribbons, possibly a personalized name of yours, है ना? So that grabs your attention and you will be hooked. Oh, I want to pick that gift first. And then of course, later I'll explore all of them because of course they are gifts and who doesn't like gifts? So that's how exactly students, if I have to put it from their perspective, in interviews, recruiters get hundreds of applications, hundreds of resumes. I mean, which one to pick, which not to pick? Whatever grabs your attention, you can imagine this, right? Whatever grabs your attention, it could be anything. the way you have crafted your headline, the way you have portrayed your picture also, it might attract the recruiter. You never know. So you don't have to leave any stone unturned there, is what I'm trying to say. Try to have everything in place in such a way which distinguishes you from those 100 applications. And similarly, when you are on the job, the kind of work that you are doing, it should speak volumes. Yeah, they should feel that, okay, this person is irreplaceable, because it's not just the work that they do, it is the kind of quality or the value that they are adding to the organization, right? So from that perspective, you have to think, and that's when the company feel that, okay, this person is resourceful, yes, and this person is indispensable. We cannot just we cannot be without this particular employee, and that's the whole idea. And when it comes to personal branding, Deepti, if you have branded yourself well, why I'm saying this, today's age is completely digital media age, you know that, right? And if
Yes.
you are projecting yourself, let's take an example of LinkedIn for that matter. Even if you are an employee in an organization, but still you are using LinkedIn as a platform to showcase who you are, what kind of values that you have, what really is your thought process. Are you a thought leader in the industry for that matter? And if you are projecting posts similar to the thoughts that you have, then possibly your recruiters or your organization also is observing, oh, this person is posting something like this. Makes a lot of sense, isn't it? That distinguishes you from a lot of others in the industry. And that's when they understand your thought process, because right now, the way we are, it is fast paced, right? Nobody has the time to sit one-on-one and discuss, oh, you know what, Deepti, I would love to understand what is your value system, what do you really feel, what's your story. Nobody has that kind of time. But social media as a platform helps you to get that entire summary in just
Mm.
possibly 30 seconds or a minute. And that's when I start resonating to you, because of the thought process. Yeah,
Okay, great. And what point you said is very important for all the students, that right from the students level you can build in the LinkedIn branding and
absolutely.
yeah, resonate. But for that, as you said, the importance of branding in social media is clear. But for that, what you have to do exactly? The line of action, what students should do so that they are projecting. One aspect I could grasp is to know yourself more better so that
Absolutely.
you can resonate with your
Hmm.
values. What
Hmm.
else?
Right. So, as I mentioned, Deepti, earlier, that once the first pillar of branding, yeah, which is knowing yourself, which is understanding deep down what you can do and how you can rather serve not just the organization but other people as well. So, if you are projecting that out, let's say you have identified that, okay, your core value system is authenticity, or your core value is something which is to create an impact out there. Okay. And if you are posting everything related to that, which is, I am doing this because I want to create an impact. Okay. I am doing this because I want to see a transformation in people. Once that word or that vision is out there, in the platforms, whether it could be LinkedIn, whether it could be Instagram, the choice is yours. But that has to be communicated clearly. So now we are moving more towards the digital side of personal branding. But before going digital, it is important to do the homework, which is working on these pillars that I mentioned earlier, because that gives you a lot of confidence. As I mentioned, if you know yourself better, that gives you a lot of confidence as to what I am doing is right, what I am
Yes.
doing is something that I want to do. What I am doing, even if somebody wakes me up at 3 a.m. in the morning, I am willing to do that because I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the more clearer we are with ourselves, we can brand that way
Absolutely.
and we
Yeah,
can
it gives you a
resonate
lot of
that.
confidence. First off, Deepti, in anything that you do, it is important to have that kind of confidence, because without that, everything falls flat, and you cannot run a marathon. You will just run a sprint. You will not be able to run a marathon if you don't have the mindset of a marathon
Correct,
runner.
correct.
Rather, you'll become a sprinter. So the choice is yours whether you want to become a sprinter or a marathon runner.
Right. So your why has to be clear and it has
Very
to be
clear.
repeated also.
All
again and
over the place.
again.
Yes. Not just for yourself, but also for your audience.
Yes. So the next time, like brand building will be next time before starting to talk with me, they'll have the image. Okay,
Absolutely.
she is this, like that's what is branding over the period.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Pick
How
any
how
company for that matter, Deepti. And take an example of any company or any renowned brands for that matter. The whole idea of take an example of Coca-Cola, very simple brand, right? Coca-Cola. If you observe their ads, the entire product, what is that? It is just a cold drink. Huh? But the way they have marketed it is they are just spreading happiness. So it's not cold drink, it is, if you are having Coca-Cola, possibly you are spreading happiness. That is the whole projection that they have done. So here the brand is Coke, but again, as I said, here in our case, we are the brand. There is no product here. We are the product.
the moment you're saying no, we are a brand, that is only bringing so much of confidence, right? And if it is
Absolutely.
not there, under se questions are like, okay, we need to build it now, step by step.
Right. Right. True, true.
Great, great. Can we use this branding in the networking also, because these students keep meeting, interacting with others in seminars, in
Hmm.
internships, in trainings? So how do we use it in our everyday networking with the people around us?
Absolutely. Yes. So when it comes to networking, Deepti, again, if you are very clear as to what brand you have to project yourself, whenever you are meeting someone, rather than just saying how are you and normal regular conversations. So in any networking event, any
Yes.
conversation will go like, "Hey, how are you? I'm from this place. Oh, yes, that's great. Sounds interesting." And that's all. And okay, see, I'll see you. Bye. That's it. But then, if you are very focused that you want to get something out of this networking event, may it be a good connection. I'm not saying that you only think about possibly business or anything else for that matter, just a great connection. For that, also, you have to invest that kind of time. And also, the kind of questions that you are asking in that networking event matters a lot. Rather than just asking, "How are you?" if you take some time out and ask them, "Oh, can you help me understand what's your story?" That changes the game completely. That shifts the focus from you to the other person. And that's what everybody wants these days. Nobody wants to listen to you, rather, they want to be heard. Yeah.
Great, great insight. Absolutely.
So
Once we
that's
are
the whole
aware.
idea. Yeah.
So the more you try to interact in a, see, sometimes actually when we are asking someone or someone is asking us, how are you? We say fine. So actually it's just
Yeah.
a question, and
It's
sometimes
like
we
an
are not even
autopilot, Deepti, hai na? I mean, it's an autopilot.
absolutely
Acha, how are you? Oh, fine, thank you.
fine.
That's it. I mean, you don't have any other answer. Even you, if you are feeling very pathetic deep down there, you won't be able to project it because we are not programmed. We are running in an autopilot saying, "Oh, fine, thank you." That's it. But then it is not creating the bonding or the relationship that we are trying to strive for in that networking event. Just switch sides. Rather than asking, "How is work going?" Again, if I ask you, "Dipti, how is your work going on?" You'll say, "Yeah, it's going on okay. It's going on fine. It's going on great." That's it. But then if I just switch one liner, maybe just ask, "Deepti, can you talk about any projects which you are working on which is related to your passion?" The game changes. And the kind of answers that I'll get will be amazing. And then I'll have so many follow-up questions to that.
So the more you actually show genuine
Absolutely.
inquisitiveness in networking, that
Right.
really helps,
Right.
right?
Yes.
In
And if I have
building
to put
your,
it in one liner, Deepti, it's
yeah.
not about you. It's about them. As simple as that. Any networking event, of course, the underlying part is, of course, you. But then you are not projecting it that way. You are projecting it that it's always for them, not you. But then we forget this while we are networking. It's all about, oh, what do I do? What I have to offer? What story that I have to tell? No, it's not about you.
Correct, correct, correct. Nice inputs about networking. And branding. The connection is really good. I have attended some of the BNI meetings as a guest.
Oh, wow.
Instead of my husband, I used to go, and so now I can see how everyone is trying to create their brand. It's great, great to know. Right. Do you come across some common mistakes, Umama, which you can say which are actually taking our branding to the negative side, or we can avoid it once we are alert about it?
Yes, there are multiple, Deepti, multiple. I mean, to start with, uh, maybe just going one by one with the pillars that I mentioned, which is the real you aspect. At times, I have realized that people are not clear in terms of what they really want. And if you are not clear, then the projection after that also will not be clear. So that clarity has to be communicated. That clarity has to be there within you first. So you have to actually go ahead, maybe isolate yourself for 2 to 3 days in a room if you have to, and then
Mm,
think what do you really want out of this. So for students also who are trying to crack examination, but of course, getting into an organization is the goal, true. But then in the organization also, what kind of image, what kind of brand you want to create? Do you want your organization to remember you as just another employee? Or do you want your organization to remember you as someone who created an impact in the organization?
okay.
That's a lot of difference actually, Hannah.
Correct,
So that
correct,
is the
correct.
first segment, which people are not
Mm,
very clear about what exactly they want to do or how they want to be perceived rather by others. Okay, that is first segment. Now coming to the next element, which is the visual element, and I think as image consultants we do this a lot, which is the way you dress up. Okay, that matters a lot because I have seen there is a trend now, and especially with Gen Zs, they are taking everything way too casually. They feel casual is the new trend, and I am totally okay with that. However, at times we need to respect the fact that okay, it's not a very casual setup. We have to be mindful that we have to dress for the occasion. It's very important. I'm not saying that you always don a blazer and jacket and go ahead for any event. Okay, not really. But then you have
correct,
to
correct.
dress apt for the occasion. And just it could be as simple as that. Whatever you are wearing, just have a quick mirror test before you leave your house. Is it properly ironed? Are there any creases that is being seen? Are there any loose threads? Oh, is there any button that is falling off? Is there anything which is not looking pleasant on my face? Yeah, a few basic things here and there. Maybe your nails. Is it well trimmed, well groomed? Yeah, as simple as that. Correct. So that is the second
Absolutely. These
element,
are
which is yeah.
continue, continue.
Yes. Then comes the third segment, which I mentioned in terms of the social aspect of yours, which is how you behave with people. And Dipti, I think this is where people just either they make it or they break it. Because the
Okay.
way you interact with people matters a lot. Whether it is transactional or whether you are trying to build a connection which lasts longer. Again, the choice is yours. If you want to the relationship to be transactional, possibly your conversation also will be transactional. But if you want to build a connection which lasts longer, then the kind of communication that you want to have has to be changed. You cannot just go by the how are you kind of conversation. You have to tweak it so that there is an emotional connect, as simple as that. Because we are not just human beings, we are emotional beings. Yeah, so that is a very important aspect. And finally, the virtual part, which is how you're projecting yourself online. Because again, talking about Gen Zs, I feel there is a very thin line between keeping your content organic and posting anything and everything on social media. Okay. There's a very thin line between the two. Organic content is fine. You should post that because that gives a lot of relatability. People are able to resonate to it. Acha. Oh yeah, I can see something which is relatable. Yeah, this is how my home also looks like. So Yeah, I mean, the same person, relatable. As you can see mine, I can see yours as well, and I can relate. Yeah, this is a very typical home, right? It's relatable, which is the organic content. But then what you should post and what you should not post. As I said, there is a thin line between the two, and you have to be mindful about what you are posting. And at the same time, one more thing, Deepti, I have seen that when it comes to online branding, people often talk all good stuff in social media, which is I have done this, I have won this, I'm doing so great in this, but nobody shows the sad part of it. Nobody shows the struggle. Nobody shows that there could be days where you are not getting anything. There could be days where you are feeling like a failure. There could be days where you are heartbroken. There could be days where there is a lot of suffering and pain. There could be days where you are vulnerable. There could be days where you just feel like, oh, I can't take this anymore. And that side should also be there on social media because that connects more to human beings.
But people are hesitant. Students are hesitant to speak in one-to-one sessions only. When we take to discuss the exams, chapter-wise booster exams and all we take. So how there's a lot of hesitation. And one maybe you can say counter question I'm doing here, but
Sure,
you are absolutely right that with that side we have to talk about the other side also. But
right.
sometimes what happens if I've talked about the other side or some emotional turmoil or something. The thing is, I may come out of it after 1 week, but the image might not change. You're getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I'm saying because you are saying that your post or your reel would be there on social media forever, and that's completely fine,
Yeah,
Deepti. I mean, even take it as
okay.
real life also, Hannah. Even if you have come out of it, you always remember that phase. It never washes away. There is no eraser or there is no switch off button that you have. You will come out of it fine. But then if I ask you to remember that the moment where you hit rock bottom, you would remember it loud and clear, vividly. You know what, Umama, this was the moment, and this is exactly what I was feeling. You could actually replicate that feeling.
Yes.
So in real life also there is no off button as you cannot delete what happened. Yeah. Similarly, it is there on social media, which gives you a lot of edge over others deeply because out of 100 people, there could be possibly just 1% of people who talk about vulnerability. And
Okay.
that's a significant aspect.
Okay. So you're saying it's okay. It will build up the
Absolutely.
authenticity also.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, see, not everybody gets success just like that. There is hundreds of failures and then you get that one success. But then what social media gets is that one success, 100 failures are all, it's all not there.
Yeah. Yes, I heard someone saying recently also that no one remembers your failures. That happens with the celebrities. We remember their best of the movies. We
Right.
remember their best of the strokes. We don't
True.
remember where they just went out with the zeros. Great,
Absolutely.
great, great insights. This is such a nice and in-depth topic and so much relevant today. Really great, great to understand all these aspects. So, one more thing just related to this only, that when you were talking about interviews and all, so as we were talking about authenticity also,
Hmm.
somewhere you need to start your work if you're doing like corporate training or if you're doing
Hmm.
job. But the repeated question asked is about experience.
Okay.
So how do we answer to build an authentic brand? This is a very, I think last few days only two, three of my students, they have qualified CMA, cost accountant exam. And when they're applying for job, the first question asked is, what is your experience? When actually they've done a lot of case studies and all in final, they have done internship, but it's their first campus interview. So what do you think we should say to build an authentic, genuine brand here for this? Is it a relevant
Right.
question with this we can take up?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, why not? Definitely. See, this is something that happens in all the interviews, Deepti. Even if you are a fresher, I mean, just out of your college and searching for a job, still interviewers will have this one set of question, which is what kind of experience you have, or what kind of experience or value addition you will have in my organization. Now, possibly this is one
Yes.
question that is there in their kitty, and that's why they'll ask. And I feel here, talking about your experiences, maybe you can bring up whatever you have done in your curriculum, in your courses that you have taken up. Maybe even if you have done a project, you can talk about how that project can be replicated as such. Because see, in organizations also, it we have projects. The only difference is that what we
Yes.
did in colleges possibly was a very small scale replication. It was just a dummy. But in organization, it is just real life, and we have real people working on those projects, real clients, and real
Yes.
transactions happening, real business happening. So, whatever you have done as a part of your pro bono or a demo, or just as a part of your curriculum, that can be showcased, and it can also be projected in a way that whatever are my learnings from here can be applied here. Yeah. So you can talk about whatever you have done already, and just project that whatever I have learned here can easily be replicated in your organization. Of course, you, because you don't have experience, so you can't
Yes.
lie about it. But given the kind of experience and expertise that you have, you can always narrate it the way it has to be weaved into a story. So the way you project this matters a lot.
Correct. And 1 second. See,
Yeah,
sit in the final. Saying to link up the case studies and practical aspect, definitely we'll apply it and work. And in
absolutely.
terms of
Yes.
experience, also they can talk. Great. I want all these in the pinned link below this. From the link tree, miss out on Oma's in channel. Such great snippets, Monday today, book it's very nice inputs even which are to the point and app students will take up. We close one very important question very close to your heart, the book. What can you talk something yeah,
Yes, Deepti, I lost you in between. Could you please repeat?
yeah, really there's the reason there's trouble here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
From your book, your career, which you can students.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I'll just show this is how the book looks like. It's called Amplify Your Career. I have talked a lot about personal branding here and how you can step by step start with the journey, the
In
four
between.
pillars that I mentioned. Yeah, the four pillars that I mentioned, I have in detail
Yeah,
explained
sorry, yeah.
everything here.
Just a second. Can you refresh?
Sorry, Deepti, could you please repeat?
Your is
I can't hear you. There is a lot of lag, Deepti.
good. Sorry, sorry. Please continue. system, but it's going good. Sorry.
Right. All right. So as I was mentioning in the book, I have mentioned step by step um, how you can establish your personal brand, a different incidents from my life and how I overcame that, and tips and tricks here and there. And one thing that is, um, I have made this book extremely interactive. So if you look at it, there are a lot of exercises and workbooks to it. Hello,
Yeah, I
should I continue, Deepti?
continue, Mama.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, perfect. So as I was mentioning in the book, there are multiple things that I have explained, and the whole idea behind this book was to make it interactive. So I wanted it to be full of worksheets, and that's how the entire book is. As you can see, we have a lot of areas which helps you to put down your thoughts here. Okay. And one thing that I really like about this book is that at the end of each chapter, I mention a few tips here. So that's called amplifying tip. I hope you are all able to see this. So in these amplifying tips, I give a few recommendations what can be done on a regular basis to have your personal brand established. So as an example, I'm just reading out one tip here, amplifying tip, which says develop a habit. If you are somebody who starts your day at 10, from now onwards, you start your day at 9:45, maybe 15 minutes prior. So what you were doing earlier, just 15 minutes, that's it. And in those 15 minutes, try to engage yourself in creating that personal brand. And how you can do it, maybe you can just have an agenda for the upcoming day. What is that one thing that you would like to focus on? In those 15 minutes, invest in one activity that would help you in your branding. Maybe you can just go ahead and post something on LinkedIn. That would really help. Or there could be something that you can do, maybe just uh, interacting with people, just posting a thank you note if you really feel like doing. So there are different tips and tricks that is mentioned in the book, and that really helps setting the entire tone. So that really helps. And that's how the book is. As I mentioned, it has a lot of worksheets and tips and tricks here and there, which makes it engaging and interactive. You can get it on Amazon and definitely give it a read.
Thank you, Mama. I'm so sorry. In between, I was lost. There was some connection issue, but you
No
gave
worries.
all the best inputs to students, and students, you can interact with her. You can go for a discovery call with her, and you will have lot of inputs, very, very nice inputs on her Insta handle. So do connect with her. Oh, Mama, thank you so much. Before, I'm a little scared now because twice I could see that it was all blank. So, before we close this, I really want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for
Pleasure. Thank
accepting this
you.
invitation and being here. It was
Mhm.
an honor, and every word what you have said means a lot. Dear student, what was your opening up bulb on moment about this branding talk? Do comment below. do write the way you write in my revision classes, this time, this point, this time. That's the way you do it, not for others, but for yourself to remember always and uphold yourself and go super duper skillful in the market. We'll be coming up again with another session, Skill Enhancer series. Till then, every day we are continuing our live learning of taxation and costing here. Umama, there's so much more to connect with you. Here also on YouTube and in our Zoom, we'll be having some more sessions with you. Would be glad to learn. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deepti. It was a wonderful experience, and I wish you, all the students who are watching, I wish you all the best. May you be the best version of yourself and outshine in whatever you do. All the best. God
Thank
bless.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the students who have joined live. There was some network issues, so if your question is missed out, you can still put it in the comment after the live streaming is closed. She will surely answer it, and we will be connecting always with her. Mama, right?
Sure.
Thank you. Have an
Thank you once again.
amazing weekend, all of you, dear students. Same with you, Mama. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much, Deepti.
Bye bye, all of
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.